Hello everyone, my name is John Crowl. I'll be discussing database security as best I can, so bear with me. I will try to cover as much and in depth on the subject as much as possible. I will try to discuss the basic of database and telling a few, but not all, parts of the database, different kind of attacks, one attack and prevention methods. Whole lot of them. So looking forward to the attack. More like preventing the attack. Okay, let's get started with the first one. Basic of database. Now then, the first thing I think is important is the API. The API is a application programming interface that allows you to interact with the database itself. So you got a database, there's a client application. If they run it in the same process, they're both screwed because if something happens, both die. So make sure the in and out process doesn't really interact with each other on the database. But that's impossible because that's what they make it. Well, from what I know anyways, there could be a possibility, but I don't know that one yet. A database transaction is another method. It's not a part of database. It's a unit of work treated in a coherent and reliable way. And it's one of the most common methods, recipes for database is called acids that can actually put some light weight on the transaction and make it more effective. Another part is the actual storing of the database that make it possible. Well, that's what I think. Indexing. Indexing is the data is where it's stored in an isolated volume, usually all around. I think it's still all around. And it's a huge collection of fields that makes up a record. So different kind of fields like documents, photos, all different kind of stuff, and it can be stored into a database. That we have around, I think like petabytes right now. Wow, that's a lot of data right there. All to store and all to look for the hackers actually, and anyone else who's confident to get it and not keep on. One of the methods that hackers use is mobile equip because everyone since 20 years ago uses small devices called cell phones and smartphones. These create new jobs or, well, not really new jobs, more like new way to work on their jobs. And like virtual office, you can actually do all that kind of stuff like store or email or all kind of stuff. Important information from company, from lawyers, from policemen. They'll use it. And we are in risk from hackers getting that information, changing that information, modifying, and also deleting that information. Wow, that's scary. Okay then, let's see here. I try to be as excited as possible. Really am excited, that's for sure. Let's see here. Also can upload to the biggest database of them all, Cloud. That bring her up to network security. Security in that field needs to be up the ante. If it's not, then our information is exposed, especially in the data storage. If the data is not encrypted or have an excellent password to protect the information from hackers, the cloud, or any other data storage, they can easily hack in and just throw that information to anyone who wants it. SQL attacks I think, is the most common attacks for database anyways. And because database uses in OS systems, web applications, even on database systems like the cloud or other companies actually use database to actually store information and can be destroyed or modified, especially for digital forensics who are trying to get a case on a suspect. Let's see, one of the methods for SQL injection is blind SQL injection. When a web application is vulnerable to an SQL injection, but the result of injection are not visible to the attacker, this type of injection is used. The content of the page is displayed differently depending on the result of logical statements injected into the legitimate SQL statement call for the page. Blind attack have three methods as well: conditional response, conditional error, and time delay. Each one is deadly as the last. Also, but we have ways to prevent these methods. Ways. Okay. For the web server, I say the mod security is also a good method. It can modify the security and make new ways to actually cause trouble and headaches for the actual hackers. Another one is to write secure source code. I can actually go in there and hack it myself and get in without even trouble, and all of their database is mine. That's why we use PHP, because they have SSL and TSL in their source coding. So we go with that. We also got database firewall that also has different mods as well, like intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention systems, and learning mods. Each one can be very deadly to the hackers. Also, we got user privilege and direct SQL plus access. These are very dangerous. Also, but another way to actually make sure that the data is secure is encrypting data. Always encrypt your data so that with a bunch of layers of security for your sensitive data, especially big companies as well. You hear that, Sony? You hear that, Microsoft? You need some more protection. Other precautions are the database should be developed in such a way that the whole security implication should be known only to a certain extent to the database admin or staff. This is also again have my resources as well. This is John Crowl signing off, and goodbye.